Okay, this lesson is on Etch-a-Sketch reflections. So first we need to pick 2 points. So I picked the point 0, 0 and the point 0, 5. Okay, so here is the access that I added to help me reflect 0, 5 and the point 0, 5. And in order to reflect it, we need to have a slope that we can we need to have a line that we can reflect 0, 5 over. So I'm going to use the slope y equals 1/2 x. And because 0, 0 is already on this slope, on the line of the slope, it won't be reflected, or it won't be moved at all because it would be reflected 0, so it's not moved. Okay, so here is our slope added to the picture, and our slope is y equals 1/2 x. Okay, so the first thing that needs to happen in order to reflect the point 0, 5 is we need to find the perpendicular line of the slope that we have right now, y equals 1/2 x. So, in order to find the perpendicular line to the slope, we know that y equals 1/2 x plus 0, because it intersects at 0, is our slope, and then the perpendicular line is the opposite slope of that, so y equals negative 2x, because that's the opposite, and then plus 5 because it intersects at the point 5. So in order to find the point of intersection between the slope and its perpendicular line, we have to set the two formulas equal to each other like I've done here. So 1/2 x equals negative 2x plus 5, and then if we add 2x over to this side, we are left with 2 and 1/2 x equals 5. So when you divide the 2.5 away from the x and you divide you divide it on the 5 side as well, you're left with x equals 2. Okay, so before we found the x of the intersection, so now we need to find the y of where it intersects. So in order to do that, we just plug the x into the slope formula that we have, our initial slope. So we have y equals 1/2, 2 when we plug it in, which equals 1. So the slope and the perpendicular line intersect at point 2, 1. Okay, so in order to reflect 0, 5 and from the original, in order to find the distance between the original point 0, 5 and its reflected point, we have to find the distance here first. So the distance between 0, 5 and the intersection is, we go down 2, over 2 and down 4, because it's 0 minus 2 and 5 minus 1 to give us that distance. And then just to note, the distance between the intersection on the initial slope and the point 0, 5, this distance is 5. Okay, so we found the distance from 0, 5 to 2, 1, and that total was 6, as you can see here. So in order to find the reflected point, we just have to move that same distance from this intersection. So we have to go over 2 and down 4, which would be 2 over, so we have 4, and then you subtract 4 to go down 4, so we're at 4, negative 3. So both of these distances are 6. This is 6, and then from here to here is also 6. Okay, so the distance from 0, 0 to the initial point, 0, 5, is 5. And then the distance from 0, 0 to the new reflected point is 7. Because when we add these, the 0, 5 equals 5, and the 4 plus 3 equals 7. So therefore, the distance is not preserved, which makes Etch-a-Sketch reflection, not always an isometry.